Hello. We are live again. So in today's live, we are actually going to discuss some interview questions that you can face in any interviews of electronics related companies or any government organizations. So, a lot of people ask me to do interview preparation videos for mark examinations and all. So, for that, people who are interested in preparing for interviews, I have actually planned today's live. So, I hope some people will join after some time. Yeah. So, let us discuss about some important questions in electronics field. We'll start with the basic questions. If anybody is watching the video, feel free to comment in the chat session. If you are having some doubts in some topics, if you are having some subject related doubts, you can ask in the comment section or in the chat session in the live. Okay. So let's start with our first question. So I have actually written down some questions and answers for this live. So we'll discuss that questions one by one. These questions are from basic electronics itself. So let us start the questions one by one. Yeah, I think some people are joining. Yeah. Okay, so computer science branch. Today we will discuss about electronics stream related questions. See, a lot of people ask me for doing interview preparation videos. For that, I'm actually doing this live. Okay, if you are having some other, some suggestion, if you want me to do some other videos, you can actually tell me. We'll do that. Okay. So the first question is, what is a diode? It is a very basic question, but in order to understand your basics, in order to know how thoroughly you have studied your subject, or if you have properly understood the subject and then you have studied it, some interviewers they mainly ask only basic questions. Okay. So what is a diode? If you're having the answers for some questions which I'm asking, you can also ask in the that is, you can also give that answers in the chat session. Okay. So the diode, talking about a diode, we generally say that diode is a unidirectional switch. In rectifiers and all, we generally use diodes, right? So diode is actually a two-terminal device. Yeah, some people is asking me doubts regarding, I think, job opportunities. Yeah, you can ask the doubts. In between, we'll answer that also. Okay. Yeah. So diode is a two-terminal device, and this two-terminal device it is used for unidirectional switching. That is, it will conduct in one direction, it will block in the reverse direction. Some special diodes is also there, which is called Zener diode, that conducts only in the reverse direction, or its working is actually happening in the reverse mode. Okay, so there is one mode which is called forward bias mode, in which generally the normal diodes conduct, and in the reverse bias mode, then it doesn't conduct. So there are two terminals for a diode, which is an anode, and then there is a cathode. So anode is considered to be positive, cathode is considered to be negative. It is not considered, it is actually positive. One is positive, that is anode is positive, cathode is negative. And if you connect positive to the positive terminal of your battery, it is called forward biasing. And if you connect in the reverse way, it is called reverse biasing. Okay. So this is some basic things you should be understanding about. At least you should be knowing this much of things in order to answer in any interviews. Okay. So that is the first question, which is diode. Now let us uh, see. Yeah. Yeah. Some person is asking like, can you see the video after the live? Yeah, probably you can see the video in the live sessions. You can see the video after it's been streamed. Yeah. Again, some questions regarding job opportunities. Ma'am, can any engineer who knows programming language can work in IT company? Yeah, that is possible. You should know at least basic programming or the syntax of some programs or programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python. You should be knowing at least, and you can work in IT companies. It is possible. Okay. Next question. Let's move to the next question. Again, I'm telling you, if you are having any doubts about the subjects, in between you can say that in the comments or in the chat session. We'll try to cover that also. Okay. Okay. Next question. What are the basic types of communication? There are basically two types of communication. What are they? Okay. Yeah, you can also answer if you are seeing some question, and if you know the answer, you can also chat that in the chat session. Okay, there is chat box. Yeah, the basic two type of communications are, there is analog communication and then there is digital communication. Analog communication means uh, sending an analog signal through a medium, okay, or a channel is called an analog communication. Whereas digital communication means first you digitize the signal which you are or the information which you are interested in sending, and then you are going to send it. Okay, so this type of communication is called digital communication. So digitization involved two steps mainly. The first one is called sampling the signal. An analog signal means an analog waveform. Okay. First you are going to sample the analog waveform and then you are going to quantize it. These two steps involve digitization. Okay. So digital signal means ones and zeros, right? So sending these ones and zeros, which is called a digital signal, is called digital communication. Okay, so these are the basic or the main two type of communications, which is analog and digital. Okay, you can also say that digitization involves sampling the signal and then quantizing. Okay, again, moving to some questions. Yeah, which subject is important for interview preparation of EC jobs? Okay, in my opinion, you have to prepare all the important or the you say the core subjects, that is digital electronics, yeah, then analog electronics. You can study DSP, digital signal processing. Then you can study op amps, about op amps, integrated circuits, VLSI, embedded systems. These are the important topics which you have to study. Again, network related questions also you can prepare. You can try solving some network problems, finding or analysis of networks. These questions or this type of questions you can prepare. Also, you can study these subjects. Okay, these are the important subjects which you have to prepare for EC companies or interviews. So this is the answer for Shravan Kumar. Okay. Um, yeah, there is another doubt coming. I have a career gap after my MBA and now planning to learn SAP FICO. Yeah. Is it a right choice for me? How is the job opportunities as a fresher for me? Okay. SAP companies are hiring people, but this is again a very specific course. Now, you have to actually go to the company, that is SAP company's official site. You can search for the requirements. Okay, if it is having maximum requirements and openings, you can definitely go for it. But in my opinion, you can go for a more generalized course like embedded course or embedded plus VLSI, or you can study RTOS or artificial intelligence. These type of little more specific, or I mean generalized course you can study. So then you can broaden your career opportunities. But again, if it is having, if this certification or course is having maximum opportunity, you can study. Okay, yeah. MOSFET, yeah, we'll cover it. Yeah, I'll try to say it here itself. So MOSFET is a type of field effect transistors. It is metal oxide semiconductor. So there is a semiconductor layer which act as a channel. It mean you can actually induce a channel in it. So this is called MOSFET. It is metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. It is actually a variation of field effect transistor itself. Now you can actually that was one question. Yeah, actually that is the next question itself. Okay, what is a transistor and what are the different types? So transistor is a semiconductor device. It can be used for switching of signals, or it can be used for amplification of signals. Mainly all the transistors are used for these two operations generally. Now, this transistors you can classify broadly as two, which is bipolar junction transistor, and then there is a field effect transistor. Bipolar junction transistor means they are bipolar. Means there is two type of conducting elements, or you can say current carriers, which is electrons, and then there is holes. So this is called bipolar junction transistor, and they are current control devices. So they can be turned on and off by providing an input current. Based on the input current, they vary. Next type of transistors is field effect transistor. Field means voltage. So voltage is affecting the transistor's operation. So that is called a field effect transistor, or FET. Okay. Now under this FET is coming the MOSFETs. Okay. So these are the two categories. First one is BJT, and then there is FETs, or field effect transistors. They are having only one type of carriers. It will be either electrons or holes. In the case of field effect transistors, okay, it is not having bipolar. Means there is no two type of current carriers, but only one type of current carriers is there. Okay, yeah, yeah. Again, then yeah. How can I get a core job in EC after 2 years of gap in my graduation? Okay, so year gap is actually a, uh, very important thing. So if you are having a year gap, then the best thing you can do is you can do some courses, which will lead you to a core company, and then along with this courses, try getting to means try to get placed in some core companies, or if you can do some trainings or certifications in some institutes which are offering you placement assistance. That is the best thing. This I have talked in my previous live also. This is the best way to overcome the year gap, because year gap is a issue with many companies, because mostly the companies, they allow only 1 year gap maximum. Okay, but there is options or possibilities is there. Yeah. BSc Electronics plus MCA is possible to learn embedded systems, or only BE and BTech is eligible for embedded systems? No, anybody can know. See, nowadays, if you see, a lot of companies are actually hiring based on only skills. The graduation is just a graduation is enough. Uh, if you're having a graduation plus the skills which are required, that is actually more than enough. Okay. So BSc plus MCA is very much eligible for doing the courses, not just BTech. And now I have actually promoted, or I have talked about various platforms which actually provide jobs based on only skills. Your graduation background doesn't matter. Okay. Siemens CDA is coming in our college for IP verification engineer job role. How to prepare for it? Okay, it is a very specific question. Siemens company recruitment, you have to actually see. I don't think we have uploaded the video on Siemens preparation. Okay, now if you are interested in Siemens preparation, you should first try to get some information about the selection process, how the test pattern is. Initially there will be a aptitude test, right? So aptitude test is generally conducted by all the companies as a basic screening process. Okay, aptitude questions will be there, reasoning questions will be there, sometimes there will be small coding questions will be also there, and you have to answer these multiple questions, that is multiple choice questions, and you have to get a decent score in it. That will be the first stage of selection. Then there will be technical rounds. In the technical rounds, they will be asking questions about the core subjects. Some coding questions will be asked, basic coding knowledge if you are having, they'll be testing. So this is for IP verification engineer, right? So you have to prepare from that area, and also basic coding format you should have to look. Okay. So in order to crack the technical rounds, some areas you have to cover. Also your core subject, because it is specifically for some, if it is for some core companies, then you have to prepare all the core subjects that will be essential, and then there will be HR discussion. Okay. So first try to crack the aptitude test, then you can proceed to the next level. But now I'm trying to switch to data science. Okay, again, you can have a switch from your graduation background. If you are from civil engineering, you can have a job in some other field also. But first, make sure that is first make sure that you are having the proper skills in order to get placed in that area. Okay, yeah, yeah. try to explain about op-amp in detail. Okay, op-amp, again, yeah, that is another question. I'll, yeah, try to answer about op-amp. So talking about op-amp, we have actually done a separate video itself for op-amp. If you want, I will link that to this live, or I'll be putting that in the community tab. Yeah. So talking about op-amp, op-amp is operational amplifiers. It is actually a differential kind of amplifier. If you see the structure of an op-amp, there is a positive terminal, there is a negative terminal. So you have to give differential inputs, and you will get a single output. Okay, it is actually a DC coupled differential amplifier, and what it do is it takes the difference of these two inputs and it amplifies the difference. Okay, so this is the basic answer for a op-amp. Now, if you want to know in more detail, there is feedbacks and all for an op-amp. Now, for an ideal op-amp, there is various characteristics. It is having maximum gain, there is infinite gain, infinite CMRR. CMRR is common mode rejection ratio. Common mode rejection ratio means, see, the op-amp is actually designed to take the differential signals, but consider that some noise is coming to the input of a op-amp. Okay, so the noise means it will be affecting both the terminals, means identically it will be affecting both the terminals, positive terminal and also the negative terminal, right? So how to neglect this noise, because an amplifier is not intended to, or it is not designed to take the noise, it is only designed to take the input. How to reject this noise? This ratio is called common mode rejection ratio. That is, common mode signals like noise signals, have to reject. So it is designed to have infinite CMRR. Okay, so this type of properties is there for a ideal op-amp. Again, I have done a separate video on it. I would strongly recommend you to watch it. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's move to the next question. Okay, next question we are going to discuss is about sampling theorem. So what is sampling theorem? We have discussed that there is two type of communication, which is analog communication, and then there is digital communication, right? So in analog communication, what we do is we send analog signals as such. Then in digital communication, we first digitize the signal, that is whatever signal we are interested in sending, and then we send that digitized signal. So the first step of digitizing is called sampling. Okay, sampling means there will be an analog signal taking out some samples from the signal, not taking the entire signal, but we are just taking some samples. Now, in order to take these samples, there is some criteria which you have to follow. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to reconstruct the signal back to the analog form. Okay, so this theorem which we follow in order to sample the signal properly to have a proper reconstruction. See, after sending the digital signal at the receiver side, the receiver will take the signal and convert it back to the analog form in order to read the data properly, right? So the theorem which we follow to sample the signal properly is called sampling theorem. Now, as per the sampling theorem, the sampling rate should be greater than or equal to twice the maximum frequency. We say it as Fs should be greater than or equal to 2 FM. Okay, so that is sampling frequency, and the rate, this rate is called Nyquist rate. This sampling rate is called Nyquist rate. Only at this Nyquist rate, if we sample the signal, only then we can properly reconstruct a signal. Okay, so this theorem is called sampling theorem. This is being followed when we are digitizing a signal in order to reconstruct the signal back to the exact original. Otherwise, some information will be lost while reconstruction. Okay, or the exact signal we cannot reconstruct. So this is next question. It is actually a very important question that you can face in your interviews and all. Okay, so that is the next question. So let's move to the next question. Before that, let me just read out some more doubts and comments. Yeah. CMRR. Yeah, I think he is Preetham. Yeah. Yeah, which is a suitable course for easy, authentic one, and from which institute should I do? Because currently there is many fake institute offering these courses. Okay, yeah, because many institutes are actually taking huge deposits and all in order to do these courses, and they are offering some placement assistance, but most of the times they are not providing that. Okay, there is also fake institutes. You have to verify the institute thoroughly before studying or doing courses in there. Yeah. So, talking about the suitable courses, I have talked about that many times. Okay. Uh, yeah, it is embedded systems is there, VLSI is there. You can study ARM-based courses or artificial intelligence-based courses or RTOS. These are some areas. Embedded systems has a lot of scope nowadays, so you can study that if you are interested. Okay. I'm a civil engineer 2019 batch. I am eligible for Infosystem. Yeah, please reply. Yeah, you have to check with the eligibility criteria. I don't think civil engineering batch is eligible for Infosys. They are mainly recruiting. Yeah, mainly they are recruiting EC, triple EI, computer science, IT, or electronics and telecommunication. These are the streams that Infosys recruits for. You know, for the system engineer post. So I don't think you are eligible, but again, you can have a look on the notification once again. How do we find our passion? Okay, so I'm curious about embedded and VLSI and communication. I don't know what to take. Okay, so if you are interested in embedded and VLSI and communication, see if you are interested in both the areas, then you can have a look on the job opportunities. If communication systems you feel that it is having maximum job opportunity, you can go for that because anyway you like both the areas, right? Now embedded systems is also having a lot of job opportunities currently, so if you are interested in that you can take. Otherwise you can choose communication anyway. Both are good courses only, both are good areas only, so you can choose whichever according to your interest, and also have a consideration or have a look on the job opportunities for both the branches. Okay, yeah. So next, moving on to the next question. Next question is, what is a semiconductor? Okay, so before going to the next question, I want to tell you that this live I have actually planned because in the previous live we have received some requests for doing bar interview preparations and all. If those persons are watching this live, I'm hoping that the questions will be useful and you'll get an idea on which all areas you have to prepare. Okay, next is a very basic question. Every electronics engineer should be knowing this. What is a semiconductor and what are the different types of semiconductors? Okay, now what is actually a semiconductor? So based on the conductivity of a material, you can classify it as primarily three categories. First one, conductor, means it will be having surplus amount of conducting elements or current carriers. So it conduct very fastly. Okay, so that is conductor. Next, there is another type which is called insulator, just like plastic, doesn't really conduct electricity or heat. You can say uh, these type of materials which are non-conducting are called insulators. Now, the conductivity level falls in between the conductor and the insulator. That type of materials we say as semiconductors. Again, you can classify the semiconductors as two. Uh, okay, first one is intrinsic semiconductors. The conductors, there is the semiconductors which are in the pure form. The pure form of semiconductors are called intrinsic, means we have not added any impurities or we have not doped the element or the semiconductor with any other, we haven't doped with any impurities. means the semiconductor is in its pure form. Okay, that type of semiconductor is called intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, and if we add some impurities to this intrinsic semiconductor to just, you know, make its conductivity better, or to make it vary according to our requirements. If you want to vary the conductivity according to our requirements, then that process is called doping. Means adding of impurities is called doping, and such type of semiconductors are called in extrinsic semiconductors. Okay, if we have added some impurities, then it becomes extrinsic. Now, based on the what type of impurity we are adding, it is again classified as N type and P type. If you are adding some N type, that is, if you are adding some impurities which is providing plenty of free electrons, then it is called N type semiconductor. Then, if you are adding some impurities which is, providing plenty of holes, then it is called P type semiconductor. Okay, so this is again classification of extrinsic semiconductor: N type semiconductor and P type semiconductor. Okay, so in order to get an N type semiconductor, we add donor impurity, and in order to get a P type, we add acceptor impurity. Okay, so these are some things which you should be familiar. These are some very basic things which we study in the first year of our electronics degree. Okay, so again, it can be that is, it can come as questions, or you can face this type of questions also in your interviews, just to understand that whether you are thorough with your basics. Have you studied your basic subjects properly? They will be asking. Okay. Next, let us have a look on again some other questions. Yeah. Now let us move on to the communication area. Now, what are the different types of uh, you can say modulation? Okay, modulation I'm going to discuss nextly. Okay, so let's directly move on to what is the difference between amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. There are again another one type which is called phase modulation. But what is the difference between amplitude modulation and frequency modulation? Amplitude modulation means uh, if we are modulating the amplitude of a carrier in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of a message signal, then it is called amplitude modulation. Okay. Now, next question, there is next, which is next area or next topic, which is frequency modulation. Means here we are interested in modulating the frequency of the carrier, and the frequency of the carrier is modulated in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of the message signal. Okay, so this is the difference. In one, the amplitude of the carrier is varied. In the next one, which is frequency modulation, the frequency of the carrier is modulated. Okay, so these are the two different types of modulation, which is amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. Okay, if the interviewer is asking you, you should be answering it. Okay. Next, okay, before moving to the next question, if you're having some doubts, again, on your career area or something, you can ask. Okay, now, next question, what type of feedback is used in amplifiers and what type of feedback is used in oscillators? Okay, before that, what is a oscillator? This can also come as a question. Okay, now, oscillators means they are generally used for creating waveforms, and we use a positive feedback in a oscillator. An amplifier is a device which we use for amplifying or boosting a signal. And in amplifiers, we generally use positive feedback. Yeah. In amplifiers, we use positive feedback, and in oscillators, we use negative feedback. Okay. Yeah. Next. Next question is about integrated circuits. Okay, so if the interviewer is asking you what is an IC and what is the benefits of going for ICs, you have seen various ICs in your labs, and we have seen various ICs connected on some PCBs and boards and all. So what is actually the use of this IC? IC means they are integrated circuits. Okay, so this integrated circuits means we are going to etch a circuit onto a silicon board. Okay, and it will be the main advantage of going for ICs is that they are microchips. Okay, an entire circuit will be converted as a miniature form, and you can use it very comfortably. They are low cost, high performance, easy to handle. So these are the benefits of going for a IC. IC is integrated circuit. Okay. So if you are been facing that is if you are facing this question, you can answer it accordingly. Okay. Next, next question. Next question is again a communication field related question. It is from multiple access. Okay. So multiple access techniques. What are the different type of multiple access techniques that you know? You can say it is TDMA, then FDMA and CDMA. These are some again some varieties is there or some subcategories is there under this. But the basic three types of multiple access techniques is time division, frequency division, and code division. Okay. Now, what is been happening in these three type of multiplexes? First one, let's talk about the TDMA. TDMA is time division multiple access. Okay, in time division multiple access, or you before that, what is actually the multiplexes? So there is a common communication channel. Okay, and the communication channel is being accessed by various users, and how the users is going to use the same channel without collisions happening, that is made possible with the help of these multiple access techniques. Okay, first one is time division multiple access. So here the communication channel is being divided as various time slots, and every time slot or every user is allotted a time slot. Okay, and the user is only allowed to use the channel only at that particular time slot. Okay, so we are going to divide the channel as various time slots. That is, on a particular time slot, only one user will be using the channel. In the next time slot, the next user will be using the channel. So we can avoid collision. And in between that, there is some guard slots also allocated in order to avoid the collision tendencies. Okay. Yeah. We'll discuss about some important questions from the logic family. Thanks for asking, Sachin. Before that, let me just complete this question. Okay. Yeah. Next one is frequency division. We know that there is a channel and the channel will be having a total bandwidth. The bandwidth is divided as various frequency slots. Okay. And this frequency slots is being allotted to various users. So again, there is guard bands in order to avoid collision. So a particular user will be only transmitting at a particular frequency, and no other user is allowed to transmit at that frequency. So this avoids collision. Okay. So talking about the code division multiplexes means every user is following a certain coding scheme. We say it is spread spectrum technologies and all. Okay. So you can simply say it as some coding techniques is used, and every user has a separate coding technique, and it is different entirely from the other user. So in order to avoid collision, these type of techniques or multiple access techniques is used. Okay, so these are the three types of multiple access techniques which is being used in order to avoid collisions. Okay, okay. So I hope that is clear. Now let us answer the question which is put forward by Sachin. Okay, some important questions about logic family. Okay, if you talk about digital electronics, logic families, gates, number systems, these are very, very important. Logic families, what are the basic gates? AND gate, NAND gate. Okay, the universal gates is NAND, NOR. Okay, then the basic gates are AND, OR, NOT, then NAND, NOR, XOR, XNOR. These are various gates, right? Now, in some questions or in some interviews, what the interviewers will do is they will give you some logical circuits. They will give the inputs also and will ask you to find the output. This type of question can come. Again, another possibility is some logical expressions will be given to you. You will be asked to reduce the expression and find the end result. This will be another type of question. Sometimes there will be questions in order to apply De Morgan's formula and reduce the logic fastly. Okay, so these type of that is logical rules is there, right? Various laws is there. Commutation law, association law, idempotent law, various laws is there, right? You have to apply the various laws of logical equations. You have to solve. Okay, so these type of questions can come. Again, there can be questions from number systems. Number system questions, various number systems is there, right? You have to find the that is convert one number system to another number system, binary, octal, hexa, decimal, how to convert a number from one number system to another number system, how to convert a particular number to binary or from binary to octal. These type of conversions you can expect. These type of questions you can always face in interviews, whether it is in-person interview or whether it is online interview. Okay, yeah, that is an answer for Sachin. I hope it's clear. Yeah, yeah. If you're having again some doubts from your subjects, whichever subject is that that is you can ask. Also, if you are having some career related doubts, now you can ask, because we have come to the end of our interview questions. So now it is time to ask some doubts or some comments about your job opportunities. If you're having facing some troubles, you can ask me now. Do you have any knowledge about interview process? Sorry, I don't have a knowledge about you know the interview process. You can better go to YouTube and search the interview process. I think actually all company interview experiences is being shared by various persons. Whichever company it is, you can get it from YouTube, I guess. Everybody is now talking about their interview experiences, how they got placed, and all their success stories and all. Everybody is sharing. But talking about me, I don't have a knowledge, yes, sir, as such. Yeah. Next, ma'am, I am also interested in joining Tata Electronics. Yeah. If you're interested in joining a specific company, the first thing you should be knowing is, that is, doing is, go to the company site, explore their career page. Yeah. Then look for whichever post that is, whatever post they are calling for, and just go through the requirements. That is, read out the notifications and try to see what is the requirements which they are asking, what are the skills that they are asking, and then have a check on your resume that am I having these skills. And if you're not having the skills, the first thing you should be doing is start preparing with that skills. uh, there is, for every notification you can see some common skills and common sometimes it will be programming languages and sometimes it will be some certifications or something being asked multiple times. Okay, so try to get that certification or try to get that skill as soon as possible, and then you can apply for. Yes, any stream can join, provided that they are calling for that stream. Okay, yeah, you have to actually, as I've told you, you have to go to the job site and you have to, that is Tata Electronics job site, and you have to see for the notifications. Okay, make sure that you read at least 3 or 4 job notifications, and then try to have a check on your resume whether I'm having the skills or not, whether I'm eligible for this notification or not. If you're not having the skills, then first thing you should be doing is You have to prepare. Okay, you have to acquire that skills, do the certifications if needed. Then you can join the company. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, any more doubts, or are we good to wind up the session? Thank you. Do you have suggestions on what materials to review for clocks design? I have a review timings, buffers, HDL logics, but I clock designing. Okay, timing buffers, HDL logics. Yeah. Mm, yeah, I think this is enough. Uh, yeah, some counter designs. Try doing some counter designs. If you are, clock designing means try doing some counter designs and see for the clocks how it is coming. Okay, yeah, you can analyze the waveforms. If you're having a siling software in your hand, or if you have siling software, you can analyze the clock design, how the clocks has been varied, how the delaying of the clock is happening, and all those things you can study properly with the siling software. See the simulation results and try to study. Okay, yeah, but I think this is enough for your interview, or if you're preparing for the test, I think it is enough. VLSI versus embedded. In my opinion, embedded is better, but again, depends on whichever company you are applying for. Both are having trend. Actually, now there is separate MTech degree which is having a combination of these two, VLSI plus embedded. So again, in my opinion, embedded systems are having maximum scope, Akash, but again, depends on the requirement. Sometimes there will be requirement more for VLSI, sometimes for embedded, but embedded systems is at its peak now. So you can choose. Try asking for some better opinions also. Okay, so that you can have a clarity in your decision. Yeah, and core company is hard to get job. Yeah. See, talking about the core company, the main problem is that, see, the companies, they are product based companies, and they hire for people with really good talent. Okay. So what they do, they go to tier one college like IITs, and tier two colleges like NITs, tier one, tier two colleges. That is IITs and NITs. You can say it like that. IITs and NITs, they go, they conduct off campus drive. If you're not from IIT or NIT, it is this is a fact that it is a little bit difficult to get placed in core companies as a fresher. But it is you cannot say that it is impossible. Always anything is possible if you try for it. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to first try to get some experience with some startups, or some small companies in the electronics field. With that experience you can always apply. Uh, yeah you can always apply for core company. It is not impossible. You can try for it, but before going to the unicorns directly, try to get some experience in some startups or some small companies. Then you can land on a good company. Okay, yeah. What is the value for front end development? All the companies are hiring for front end developers frequently. Sorry. Yeah. So what is the skills that you should be having? HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, React, JS. These are the skill sets generally companies ask for front end developers. I have actually read out various notifications. That's why I'm telling it instantly. Again, if you are interested in front end development, Sindhu, if you are looking for that area, again, you can, go to Google and search, requirements for front end developers, current technologies on front end. You can prepare accordingly. But in from my experience with, reading out various notifications, I think these are the skills which you need: HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, React, yeah, JavaScript. These are the requirements. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's been a long time that we have started the live. So I'm going to wind up the live session. Again, we'll be doing other lives, that is live sessions. If you're interested, you can comment or you can mail me if you're having any doubts. I have put the mail ID with every video's description box. Yeah, yeah, okay. Um, okay, so I'm going to wind up this session. Thanks for all the people who have commented. Thanks for joining the live. And we have discussed some interview questions also in today's live. And I'm hoping that was useful. So that's it. Keep on supporting the channel. And thanks. Thank you.